to another Share News from Home. We are live today to talk all things Bachelor Nation. As always, I am your host, Fiona Zaring, joined by the wonderful Avery Grooms and Zachary Reality. You guys, happy Friday. I'm so excited to see you both. Avery, I feel like it's been a minute. How are you?
I know. I've missed you. I'm great. I'm ready for the weekend as always. How about you, Zach?
Oh, I'm so happy it's Friday. I love that term. Not Friday, it's Friday. I am so excited about the weekend. Honestly, this has been a really long week. I don't know if it's just because I got my second dose of the vaccine, but I am just really ready for the weekend. And I'm really ready to dish on the tea because it is one of my favorite things to do just in general.
Yes, I love it. Well, let's kick off the weekend right, you guys. Let's talk all things Bachelor Nation. Honestly, there is a lot to talk about today, so we're going to dive right in with the latest from Rachel Lindsay. She just stepped in as a guest host for The View, and you guys, if I do say so, she killed it, which I think all of us probably could have expected. While she was there, she shared a story that I don't think we really heard her share before from her time as the Bachelorette. They were discussing some recent Real Housewives of New York drama, which of course we could do a whole other live on because, you know, there's a lot of drama there too. But they were having a discussion about being publicly labeled angry and the weight that that can carry. And Rachel explained that not only could she relate to that label, she had to live it during her season of The Bachelorette. If you guys remember back to her finale, she was on stage with Peter Krause, her runner-up, and he told her she would be living a mediocre life if she did not choose him, to which, in typical Rachel fashion, she had the best response. She said, quote, "Actually, I am living my best life." After that exchange happened, Chris Harrison decided to step in, you know, do the Chris thing, try to mediate. And he said, "Rachel, you seem angry." She said, quote, "I looked and I said, that's a strong word." And he said, "Well, you seem upset." She explained on The View, "I hadn't raised my voice, I hadn't yelled, I hadn't said any type of curse word." Kind of continued to pile on. Peter said he felt attacked, and when she asked him why, he couldn't provide any evidence. Rachel explained, quote, "I've been labeled an angry black female in Bachelor Nation. It follows me around to this day." Sort of reflecting on this moment, she felt like it was a turning point. So, Zachary, do you remember this exchange from Rachel's finale? Because honestly, listening to her recant this, I was kind of shocked and it took me back in time. I didn't fully remember this. What are your thoughts on this, hearing her talk about it now?
Well, as the Bachelor Nation expert and fan that I am, of course I remember every single minute of this scene. And this was it was an iconic scene in Bachelor Nation because this was the scene where Rachel cried her eyelashes off when she was breaking up with Peter. They had a mutual breakup, and a lot of people really wanted Rachel to pick Peter because they loved Peter. But this is the reason why, because Peter said that he felt attacked when she did not attack him. She really was just trying to speak the truth about why their relationship was not going to work out. These are two people that wanted completely different things in life. So I think it's great that Rachel chose Brian. But in regards to Chris kind of calling her angry back then, you know, I remember that scene very vividly. Rachel was not angry. Rachel was frustrated and Rachel was devastated. She was breaking up with Peter, who she was in love with. That was her final two. So of course she was devastated. She was not angry by any means. And it really goes to show how Rachel and Chris almost have had this kind of back and forth for a lot longer than we thought. So when everything happened on that extra TV interview, when Chris basically, you know, got canceled and had to take accountability for his actions, you know, Rachel was frustrated for many years. And I think that when she stepped into that role of being the first Black Bachelorette, you know, she knew what was going to happen. She knew that she had hurdles to overcome and stereotypes that she had to prove people wrong. And while I empathize with her, and I think it's very frustrating to have to constantly prove yourself to not be what people are labeling you as, I feel like Rachel has done a really good job, you know, with her platform the past 4 years by doing that. And I know she's so frustrated and I understand, but I think she just has to keep continuing to speak her truth because it's getting somewhere. People are listening to her and she's on The Voice. I mean, The View. Maybe she'll be on
The
The Voice
View.
next, but she's on The View now. Yeah. So I think she's killing it.
The voice.
Yeah, no, you're so right. And Avery, I know you and I have talked about that a lot. It is so important that Rachel Lindsay is who she is because she has been slowly but surely leading this charge. And without her, I mean, honestly, who knows where Bachelor franchise would be in general, because she really was the catalyst for a lot of the change. She talked about on The View that this is why it's so important to have these conversations, whether it stems from Real Housewives or the Bachelor franchise, right? Like any opportunity to create a dialogue is important. And what I just continue to keep coming back to is she never shies away from the moment. She is so strong. She continues to lead the charge, and we really can just count on her. Like, she is always going to step up to the plate.
Always. I feel like she's just the most reliable source at this point. And, you know, as a Black woman, I feel like we always have to go into situations presenting ourselves a certain way just to avoid labels. And, you know, I could say one thing in the same tone as a white woman, but then someone will call me angry, but the white woman gets away with it. And I know Rachel has probably experienced this a lot, and also in reference to what they were talking to on the Housewives. So that's why the word angry can be somewhat triggering. And for people who don't know, well, it just goes way back in history on why. And you could blame that stuff on like stereotypes, or maybe Tyler Perry even implementing it even more, aka Diaries of a Mad Black Woman. But in this day and age, like, there's no getting away with it because that falls on the person. And this is a situation that Rachel constantly runs into, and she just always rises to the top and just still presents herself in like the most classy, elegant way, talking about some of the toughest issues, all in trying to like avoid these labels at the same time. And you know, it's not anger, it's passion, and it's like just emphasis on what she believes in. So it's hard, but this girl is so strong and her voice is so valuable. So I hope she just keeps doing her thing, because every time she speaks, it's so wise and it's so much needed.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, you said it so well there. It's so important that she continues to stand up for what she believes in and speak her truth, because I cannot even begin to think about how many people over the years Rachel Lindsay has stood up and said so many important things. And if she just gets a new person to have a new thought, try to understand something, if she can continue, I mean, we're so lucky, I believe at least, as fans of a franchise, to have had her been our Bachelorette and take this on, because you never know who you're going to get as the Bachelorette, right? We didn't know that looking into a crystal ball, Rachel Lindsay was going to go on to use her platform for all of this change. So we could go on about Rachel all day. I feel like we always fall into this because she's such an impressive woman. You guys, we want to know your thoughts in the chat. What did you think of what Rachel had to say on The View? Let us know. At the end of the stream, we're going to try to get to as many of your questions, your thoughts, your concerns as we possibly can. So just keep chatting with us throughout the live. And on that note, if you're just joining us live for the very first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so we can keep you updated on all things Bachelor Nation all the time. On that note, I did mention there is a lot to talk about today, so we're going to move on to our next topic, which is a pretty fun one if you ask me. Matt James and Tyler Cameron just went on their very first public, at least, we haven't seen them do this before, double date with Rachel and Tyler's girlfriend, Camilla Kendra. They spent a week together in the Hamptons. Sources are saying they had an amazing time. They were not shy about getting cozy, showing some PDA. Everyone in the group was really hitting it off. Zachary, I know you and I have talked about this. It is a big step for your significant other to meet your best friend, and here we have both couples doing it, hitting it off at once. This really feels like a turning point maybe in their relationship. What are your thoughts on this weekend trip?
I mean, this is squad goals. They all look so happy together, not just as like a group of friends, but just in their individual relationships. I mean, they're both smiling ear to ear. You know, I know a lot of people from Bachelor Nation are really jealous because Tyler is like the most coveted Bachelor alum. So I know a lot of people are actually really jealous that he has a new girlfriend, because, you know, we all want a little bit of Tyler. We wanted to see him on Paradise, maybe become a future Bachelor, but you can tell on his face that he looks really, really happy. And if he is happy in a relationship, then good for him. And it seems like these couples are getting along great. It's so important that your friends like your significant other, guys. It's so important. And I'm here for this. This is a double date that we all just want to be a fly on the wall for.
Yes, honestly, I could not have said that better. At the moment I saw these pictures, I was like, God, I just wish I could have been like the next table over. Like, what is this group of people talking about? Avery, I know you and I talked all things Matt James all season long, and this Rachel roller coaster honestly really did not seem like this is where we were going to end. I couldn't have predicted we would be here talking about them double dating in the Hamptons when we were in the thick of that season. Do you think that they've done it? Have they beat the odds? At this point, would you just say like they're one of Bachelor Nation's, success stories? We're going to see them for years and years to come?
Yes, I think they are. Their journey just was way different than any other. At this point, though, like I find myself saying this every week now. Before I was like, God, no, this is a huge no, and now they're maybe one of my favorite Bachelor Nation couples. I don't know. I think they're on that route. Because just look at this. This is literally goals. Like 4 beautiful people. Matt and Tyler are already besties. Now their girlfriends are linking up and everyone's super hot. Not only that, I had a feeling this was coming after Matt posted Rachel. And we just see them like going up and up and up. As we know, they went through a lot and they went through some of the hardest stuff at the beginning publicly. So now I feel like it's only up from here, and they're just going to keep growing as a couple because they're more stronger than ever before because they had to deal with all this crazy hard stuff right at the beginning. So now I think they're smooth sailing for probably the long run.
Yeah, I'm honestly with you. I feel like at this point, the two of them have proven that not only can they get through the hard times, but they can evolve together, they can grow together. And to fight that hard, that publicly for a connection you made on television, it feels like they must have been, honestly, one of the casting department's best matches. Whoever that producer was, whispering in his ear, her ear throughout the season, really did do what the show set out to do. And now, here they are really succeeding after, like you said, Avery, all of that. Zachary, do you agree? Do you think we're going to be seeing them for years and years to come, or are you still a little skeptical?
I am still a little skeptical, but, I'm kind of on the same page with Avery because a few weeks ago we were like, this couple's never going to work out. They're never going to last. And then they really, they prove us wrong every single week. And they really seem more and more in love. And hanging out with your bestie and his girlfriend and going out in public. And now Rachel is on Matt's Instagram. Like, they are legit. And, we've mentioned this before. We would rather talk about them and root for them than Claire and Dale as far as, like, recent Bachelor couples. So, you know what? Hashtag Matchel, hashtag Rat. I don't know what their hashtag is, but I'm on board for Matt and Rachel. But I would not go as far as saying that they're one of my favorite couples in Bachelor Nation, Avery. I just wouldn't say that yet.
Okay, the thing is, I don't have that many. I just appreciate after all the conflict they went through, the way they've gone about it. Like you said, unlike Claire and Dale, I feel like they just post to show that they're still together. But Matt and Rachel are actively like doing philanthropy together, and she's proving that she's doing the work, and he's doing all these other unbachelor related interviews talking so highly about her and just all their personal life. Like, I've gotten to know that side of them, so I just appreciate them so much more. Definitely Tayshia and Zach are still at the top, and Sean and Catherine, but they're getting closer to the top. I have some other favorites, but I never thought they would be in that category.
We'll keep up to date.
We'll need to do like a very conclusive ranking of all of our favorite couples, because I'm sure that list is honestly shorter than we may think. You guys, let us know in the chat, are Rachel and Matt barreling towards some of your favorite couples in Bachelor Nation? Are you still not on their team? Let us know. We, of course, want to hear from you as well. Matt and Rachel, I think we're going to be having this conversation probably every milestone, because I think they're just one of those couples that people are really invested in. They want to see them succeed. We're going to move on now to a less successful Bachelor Nation couple. That would be Kelley, Flanagan, and Peter Weber and their ongoing breakup saga. You guys, there has been so much drama over the past few months. I mean, things reached a new peak this week after Peter called Kelley out in his podcast, and then Kelley, of course, posted that lengthy response video on her YouTube. We did break this down in another video, you guys, on our channel, so you can check that out if you need to kind of catch up, get up to date. But you guys know, I mean, it has been a lot. These two went from breaking up, clean cut, Instagram statements announcing the end of things, to really, really ugly drama. Now that Kelley posted that response video on her YouTube, she said she hopes that can be the end of it all. Avery, do you think that's it? Or do you think these two are just never going to be able to chill out? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I hope that's the end of it, but I just have a feeling it won't be. Just to see how they've worked things out lately, like, I don't know. I used to think Kelley took more of the high road, but after her statement, I feel like Peter's going to want to fight back again. And at this point, they both have crossed each other's boundaries. Peter reached out to, like, family members and her astrologist after they broke up, and she asked him not to do that. And now Kelley's coming on and kind of crossing some lines, like stating her side of the story, and it's kind of like, at the end of the day, is it really necessary? Did we even need to know all this? And now it's kind of like, I think this is their mess that they need to handle somewhere else. But at the end of the day, I think it all needs to just be put to rest, because it really isn't that relevant. It's just now seems like personal issues, and her speaking on this more and more isn't helping her. And, Peter's reputation hasn't been the best. So it's just not all in good light.
Yeah, I mean, Zachary, we've talked about this. It's playing out so publicly. At this point, I mean, do you agree with Avery? Do they need to just, like, take it behind closed doors? Is it becoming detrimental to both of them? What are your thoughts?
It's almost laughable at this point, because Peter put out that first breakup statement on New Year's. We're in June. I don't know if they realize that. We are in June. It is officially hot girl summer. Like, Bachelor in Paradise is starting to film. Like, why are they still discussing this? And I think a lot of us have been Team Kelley for so long, but Kelley is the one who is feeding into this, making statements, making YouTube videos, and I completely understand that she doesn't want to let anyone tell her own narrative, as she said, but she's still bringing it up on podcast after video after Instagram story. Like, Kelley is throwing shade. So maybe Peter actually did have a point when he said that she's reaching for a headline. So you know what? I am still Team Kelley, but I don't know. It just needs to end. This is honestly ridiculous at this point.
We're finding ourselves feeling inclined to maybe defend Peter, and you guys know, all in good fun. I'm not actually like a hater, but he drives me nuts. So I think I'm reaching my limit with the two of them and this drama. Hopefully we see a positive turn of events very soon. Separate from everything going on with Peter, a lot of fans had been holding out hope that we might be able to see Kelley as one of our members of Paradise. There, of course, have been reports that she's dating someone in Florida. It's new. We don't have a lot of details on it. It's very mysterious, this potential new flame Kelley has found. But of course, it's kind of hard to sort out what's real, what's a rumor. So many fans who are diehard Kelley, supporters wanted to see her on the beach. She was, I don't want to say misleading people, but she got people briefly very excited on her Instagram story. When she was asked how her love life is going, her response was heading to Mexico in 2 weeks. Now, if I just saw that Instagram story and clicked out after that, I totally would have thought, oh, she's going to Paradise. That's how her love life is going. But alas, that is not what she meant. Apparently, when someone called it out directly saying, are you heading to Paradise? Her response was, no, I am not. I'm just going to Mexico. So, Zachary, I gotta know your thoughts on this, because why that response? I mean, did you want to see her in Paradise? Do you think she was teasing people a little bit there?
I'm sorry, but this goes back to Peter's point. She's reaching for a headline. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you did not have to respond that way. You're heading to Mexico. You know Bachelor in Paradise is filming in Mexico. I want to see her in Paradise. We know that Bennett is really into her. I think that it would be iconic for her to show up in Paradise after all of the Peter drama. I think that she would be pursued by a lot of guys, not only Bennett. So I think she needs to go to Paradise. And apparently she's dating this guy in Florida. It's been confirmed. Peter even mentioned it on his podcast. So possibly she's going to Mexico with this guy in a couple of weeks, but that's also really convenient considering that's the time when Paradise is filming. So possibly she might be holding out and might end up in Paradise because she's going to be not too far away in Mexico, and I want to see her in Paradise. I am invested. Kelley, please go to Paradise, ditch the guy that you're with, and go cause a bunch of drama. We have our popcorn and wine ready for you, Kelley.
Oh my God, I love it. Avery, what are your thoughts? I mean, how do you interpret that response? Do you think this means this Florida guy and her are taking the next step? They're vacationing together, things are very serious? Or do you think she could still end up on the beach? Where do you land on this?
Well, for me, during her Q&A, she was asked, how's your love life going? Not where are you going on vacation? And her response was like, I'm going to Mexico in 2 weeks. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, she knows what she's doing. She's conveniently going to Mexico in 2 weeks when they're conveniently filming Paradise at the same time. So like you said, like it's not that big of a place. She could easily just show up there, and that's kind of how Paradise works. It doesn't have to be that organized of a thing. I know they would love to have her on, especially if Bennett's there. So I feel like she has that in the back of her mind, even if she is going with this new man from Florida. But I think it's calculated. I think we might see her, and there's definitely a way higher chance now since this trip is planned. So I know Bennett will be happy, but I hope it just adds for more and more tea. And who knows, maybe the new guy will just come on with her, and maybe she won't leave with him.
Wow.
True.
Everyone's so desperate for some Kelley tea. They just say, come, bring Florida man. It's all good. That would be.
Bring everyone. Bring Peter, bring Bennett. Bring literally everyone you know, Kelley. Bring everyone. Show up with a posse.
I love it. Who knows, you guys? Honestly, crazier things could happen, right? At this point, I'm just stopping trying to predict exactly what's going to happen. Producers always have something up their sleeve. Maybe you guys have done it. Let us know in the chat if you are one of those people who is fighting till the last moment to get Kelley in Paradise. We know she's a lot of passionate fans out there, so if you're one of them, we want to know. We want to know why you want her there. We do have another pretty major Bachelor in Paradise update. Of course, you guys, I'm sure, have seen the news came out this week. Chris Harrison will not be returning. He's not going to be hosting Paradise. And multiple celebrity comedians are going to be filling his shoes. So far, the first name we have is David Spade. Bachelor Nation had mixed reactions to that news. There were a lot of people who were actually really excited about it. David does a lot of Bachelor commentary. He's been a fan himself for a long time. So to some fans, this was awesome. Others were disappointed for reasons, across the board. Some of those reasons being that there were people really hoping we would see Wells Adams step into that role. He has hosting experience. He's of course been the bartender in Paradise for some time now. And exciting news, if you are one of those people, it is coming out today that he and his fiancée Sarah Highland will be one of those celebrities stepping in to host. The two of them together, it looks like. This news is coming from Reality Steve, who tweeted, off yesterday's news of rotating hosts down in Mexico, Chelsea Handler was supposed to be one of the other ones along with David Spade, but it got pulled last minute. The only other one I know for sure going down to host are Wells and Sarah Highland. So, Avery, what are your thoughts on this? Were you hoping to see Wells step into this role in one way, shape, or form? Do you like this?
Yes, I was hoping to see Wells. Wells at this point is just a part of Paradise. So when we didn't hear anything about him, I was getting a little scared. But now this is even better because Sarah is joining him. So I think more people are going to be excited about seeing her, not just Wells and them as a couple. And I think they're just going to bring great insight and comedy, because both of them as a couple are hilarious, I think, to Bachelor in Paradise. And now the girls could kind of also have like a mentor, and then the guys could go to Wells. So it all works out in great fun.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it'll be cool to have a couple because obviously, like you said, they can bring that dynamic of their success. I mean, not a Bachelor Nation success story, but Wells has successfully found love. We're going to get to see him with someone happy, which fans will like. And Sarah is going to bring that, celebrity, comedian, sort of fresh energy. So the two of them seem like a dream team. Zachary, I know you wanted it to be Wells. You told me. I know.
I did.
So now that we know he's going to be there, is it bumming you out? Like, would you rather it just be Wells and Sarah? Is that the dream scenario here?
Yeah, it is. I would have liked to just see Wells and Sarah. You know, Sarah is part of the ABC family. She was on a Modern Family for many years. That show ended. So it was really natural for her to come in, especially with the quarantine and everything. Sarah and Wells could easily go together. So now I'm like, do we even need David Spade there? I don't want any distractions. If we have all of these celebrity hosts in, like, God forbid we get Chelsea Handler, it's going to be too many distractions from what the actual point is. You know, a lot of people liked Chris Harrison. They're saying online that they really wanted Chris Harrison there because he is almost kind of robotic, and it takes away all of the hype about him and really focuses on the love stories. If you have David Spade, you have Sarah Hyland, you have these huge celebrities, it might take away from what's actually happening on the resort, and people might focus too much on these A-list celebrities. So I'm fine with Sarah being there, and I actually love that idea. I think it's genius, but let's just have Sarah and Wells there. Now we don't even need David. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. But yes, I have been, you know, saying for weeks, maybe months, you know, Wells needs to be there, and I'm really relieved right now.
I'm glad he's going to be there too, and I think you're really onto something with that. I mean, it's a lot of love stories, a lot of drama to juggle into these episodes as is. I do think it's going to be really interesting to see, you know, someone like David Spade, Sarah Hyland. I know we're not ultimately getting her, but Chelsea Handler, for them to fly to paradise, commit to being there for however long it's going to be. These are big names, right? So you figure they have to be providing them with enough of a platform to say jokes, be funny, engage with the audience, that it's worth their while. So as always, I don't envy Bachelor producers, because timing these out, these, you know, episodes, is going to be a very difficult situation. Going back to, you know, the root of paradise, which is, of course, to have couples falling in love, we're down to the wire. They're like starting next week. So final predictions, you guys. Who are we hoping to see on the beach? Avery, I don't know if you and I have talked about this in a little while. Who is it that you really are hoping to see there when we start getting this season?
I'm hoping to see Bree because I wanted her to be the Bachelorette, but if she can't be that, I want to see her in Paradise with some good options, though. So when I say good options, I can't really think of too many men, but steering in a different direction, I also want drama. So I hope Bennett and Noah are there. And then also, I think we all know that Queen Victoria will for sure be there.
What about you, Zach? I know you like Victoria. I know you want her there, but are there any other people at this point aside from Kelley? I actually kind of know who you want. We want Kelley. We want Queen Victoria. But who else? Who else is in the mix?
You know everyone I want there. Well, I do want to say that the news kind of broke about Piper and Brendan, so they might be dating, which means that they won't be going to Paradise, which is so frustrating because now we are robbed from seeing them connect and have this love story. And, you know, we were talking about it earlier that they've only been dating for a few weeks. So just send them to Paradise and let's see their relationship. A lot of these Bachelor in Paradise relationships have already started forming, you know, with the quarantine. They're all hanging out in New York City. Just bring them all to Paradise and let's see what happened, because we're already invested in these relationships. But, you know, I was thinking about last night who I really wanted there, and Abigail has to be there. Like, she is the absolute fan favorite from last season. She has to be there. I think Chelsea has to be there. Kit has to be there. And we definitely need Ivan and Ben. We're going to need a few guys from from Katie's season that we haven't met yet. And word on the street is that DeMar is going to be there, as well as Chasen. And then from Peter's season, word on the street is that Kelsey might be there, as well as Victoria F. and Hannah Ann. So I think we're going to have a lot of good options, a lot of good-looking people, a lot of drama, and a lot of shade.
I love it. No, and the thing is, all those names you were just saying to me are a lot of people who, since their time on the show, I feel like I've gotten to, just through their social media, know them a little more. I'm going to be honest. When Peter's season was airing, Victoria F., I had it with that girl. I was like, she is the worst. And I've honestly, I feel like since following her on social media, seeing her interact with girls that she did not get along with during the season, there's clearly so much more to her. Same thing with like a Kit. I really didn't know how I felt about her throughout all of Matt James's season. Now I'm like, oh my God, she seems like such a fun girl. So part of the thing I love about Paradise is not only are we going to see relationships, but I feel like it's a great second chance for us to truly get to know people It's a little less competitive, you know, it's a different type of competition, I guess would be better to say, because you're really searching for one amongst many. You're not all fighting it out for the one person. So very excited to see some of these big personalities. I don't know that Victoria will redeem herself if she is there, but I hope for your sake, Zachary, very passionate. I hope she's on that beach for
Queen
you.
Vic.
You guys, let us know in the chat who will make or break Paradise for you this season. I know everyone's got someone that they hope to see there, so we want to know who it is for you. We're going to move on from Paradise and talk Katie's season now, because it is so close to being here, you guys. The wait is truly almost over, and we just got a first look at the moment she meets one of her guys. His name is John. It's his limo entrance. They put the clip on Instagram. And honestly, it just goes really well. This was the first little promo teaser clip that truly gave me chills, because I think all of us are kind of, you know, protective of Katie to a certain degree. We like Katie from Matt's season. We want things to go well. We want them to cast guys for her that she's really gonna like. And this clip that we're gonna watch in a second here with John, I don't know, it just gave me the chills, gave me that butterfly feeling. I feel like she really is going to like him. So once we have this clip ready, you guys, we're gonna dive in and watch it, because I gotta know your thoughts. We have a lot of names floating around, but we don't know them yet. So John might be the first one to really watch out for. All right, I think we've got this clip. Let's see if we can roll it.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's great. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's great to finally meet you.
What's your name?
I'm John.
John. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Okay, so first of all, do we like John? We just got our first little glimpse. Do we think he's cute? Avery, what are your thoughts?
Yes, I think he's so cute. He seems tall, seems really nice. Katie looks extremely excited, especially in this picture right here, to see him. Already seems like a nice little sweetie boy, but I could be totally wrong, but that's my first impression.
What's yours, Zachary?
The music tells it all. There is romantic music, and John does not have to do anything but show up in a suit. You know, he doesn't have this doll, he doesn't have a ball pit, he doesn't need no helicopter or a van. Like, he is just showing up looking like himself, and Katie is smitten. Hashtag Team John.
Yes, I love it. Okay, so that was just that first little moment. He really goes on to make a really great first impression. Let's see what he has to say.
The last couple weeks have been insane. I felt like I've been dreaming, and I honestly thought I was gonna get out of this limo and see you and kind of snap out of it. That is not the case at all. I feel like I'm dreaming twice as hard right now.
I feel the same way, so we're on the same page.
Well, it's fantastic to meet you. You look wonderful. You look gorgeous.
Thank you.
I'll see you inside.
Yes, I'll see you inside.
Great to meet you, Katie.
Okay, here's the thing. Limo entrances make me cringe usually. That episode, I know people love it. It's tough for me. I get like nervous on people's behalf, beaming watching that. It was so real. It felt like they actually made a connection. He used that moment to say something so she could get to know him a little bit. No gimmick, like you mentioned, Zachary. I was just so charmed by that. Zachary, did it keep working for you? Are we still Team John?
Yes, I actually love the limo entrances. It's one of my favorite episodes of the
I know,
entire
I'm the minority.
season. It's so fun to see everyone come out of the limo, and those first impressions truly do mean so much. You know, it looks like John might even be getting the first impression rose based on this entrance alone. First impressions really, truly mean a lot, especially on The Bachelorette, because there has been, you know, statistics. If you've been watching, usually the first impression rose ends up being the winner. It's happened a lot of times in previous Bachelorette seasons, and we don't know anything, we don't know spoilers, but I just see a strong connection between the two of them right off the bat.
What do you think, Avery? Do you agree?
I agree. And especially for the limo entrances, you know, it's always about how you present yourself. And John was just so calm, charming, really well spoken. He didn't seem too nervous. Like, it was all just so graceful, and he didn't have to do all that extra stuff, you know, like a costume or props. And that's what usually makes it so cringy or it's funny. But I love this, just this like raw, authentic energy. And he owned it. So I am also hashtag Team John.
Yeah, I'm so with you both. And you know what I think it was for me? It didn't feel rehearsed. People sometimes go up and they have something really charming to say or some sort of like confession they want to make, but that felt like he just got there, looked at her, and felt like he had to confess. So whether he rehearsed it or not, definitely working for me. They have one last little clip of the two of them together, one final moment. So let's check that out as well.
What you feel? Okay, that's my type. I think that's my type. Oh, hi. Did he hear me? Don't know.
He heard you.
Yeah, right. He so did. I love that moment because it felt like that very relatable Katie energy that I think a lot of people like. And I think this is, at least for me, kind of, even though it was a quick glimpse, like this is going to be her energy as the Bachelorette. Like the minute she kind of has like a second, I think we're going to all feel those nerves, that excitement, and it's just getting me even more thrilled that her season is so close to being here. Avery, I know there's been, you know, those promos some people didn't love, and there's been criticism of the wardrobe and all that, but watching this clip, do you have confidence in her as a Bachelorette?
Oh, yes. I always had confidence in her because she has so much confidence in herself. And we always say this, but she knows what she wants. The way she carries herself is so like apparent and also just so crucial when it comes to being the lead of the show. And she just owns everything she does. And I loved this moment so much because they both like walked away from that like at peace, but also really excited about how that went. It wasn't like a, oh no, why did I say that? Or like, that was awkward. Like they both walked away from it with like huge smiles, and then he heard her and did the little turnaround. Like that was so cute. I love it.
Yeah, Zachary, where's your confidence in Katie at this point?
You know, it's so crazy because I was not a big fan of her last season. Like, I truly wasn't. And every week we get closer, I'm really starting to like her more and more. And I'm really rooting for her this season. And it's so funny because she was like, did he hear me? Of course he heard you. That's why he turned around. Now we know your type. That is good to know. But I will say that everyone has a type. But it really, I feel like for me at least, type goes out the window when you get to meet someone and you know their personality, connection, and personality and how you click is so much more deeper than physical attraction or any type, because you can truly fall in love with anyone. So this is definitely Katie's initial type, which is why he is my first impression rose prediction. But I'm glad that she's giddy and excited, because there's probably this like feeling of anxiety when you're the Bachelorette and you have all these men coming. You're like, I hope that at least one of them is hot. Like that's what must be going through her head. So I'm glad that she found at least one guy that she's into immediately.
Yes, I feel like it is very safe to say after watching that clip, we can seal the deal. He's one of, you know, shared newses. We're keeping our eye on him, however you say it. He's definitely Team John, front runner for us. Hopefully this prediction, we're going to look back on this moment and say we called it. We knew we were right. We do have another teaser clip to look at as well. And in this one, we see Katie seemingly sending someone home outside of a rose ceremony, which you guys typically means there's some sort of trouble in the air. Let's check out this moment as well. Very different vibe. Definitely not heart eyes and excitement the same way we saw with John. We're gonna get to see, you know, the firmer side of Katie a little bit. Let's check this one out too.
I think it's best for you to go home tonight.
So I think it's best
Period.
for you to go home tonight, right? I mean, obviously, I think it's safe to say this guy may have been causing some drama, or she learned something about him that she just couldn't overlook. I want to put our detective caps on, honestly, and just kind of like, it's a very short clip, right? So we've got to really get to it. We see her in that jacket. Could be an oversized woman's blazer. Could be something she's borrowing from one of the guys. I'm kind of getting, and I'm curious if you guys agree, this was a one-on-one, and whatever they had, that dinner conversation, did not work for her. That's sort of where my head is. What do you think, Avery? Where do you think this moment's taking place?
Yeah, that could be it. I just feel like we're going to see a lot of these moments because I don't know, whether it be from the one-on-one or a group setting. We saw that promo clip where she's like, if you aren't here for the right reasons, get out. And I feel like that will definitely not be the last of it. But this moment, I also thought she was wearing like a guy's blazer. It totally could be an oversize. But that made me think it was more of like a group date and she pulled him aside because maybe he did who knows what, and was probably just like, oh, I think it's best you should leave. If it was a one-on-one, you know, usually those goodbyes are a little more formal and there's a lot more said, but it's hard to say right now.
You know what, you're really onto something, because if we look at them here, it does kind of look like he's got a jacket on too. So maybe, Zachary, I'm curious your take. I think I'm going to change mine and agree with Avery. This could be from a group date, because it's not like he's carrying around 2 jackets. She must be wearing someone else's. What do you think?
Yeah, Fiona, you're going to have to change your mind. This is definitely a group date or possibly a cocktail ceremony. As Avery said, on the one-on-one dates, this is what they do. They get the rose, they pick it up on the dinner dates, and they're like, they put out this speech about how amazing the person is, and then they put the rose down and break up with them. This is definitely involved with some type of drama. Whoever this guy is, we can see it from the back. I don't know if that is kind of a clue on who it is, but this guy definitely got involved in drama in the house, and that is why she's saying it's best you go home, which is actually means you need to get the F out. I think she just said it a lot nicer. This guy is in trouble, and I'm totally here for the drama.
Yes, I know. I think that's the thing. We all love a healthy dose of drama. We just don't want the drama to enter into that, like, ooh, toxic, nasty energy. But usually I feel like with the guys, it's so much easier to, you know, clean your hands of it. And we know Katie's no BS. So I'm just thrilled to see what kind of comes her way this season and see how she handles it. We do know that her season actually wrapped up early. That was one of the first big teases I feel like we got early on a few weeks ago. I'm curious how many guys you think she's going to eliminate like this, because here's the thing, time is everything on The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. Contestants are constantly tripping over themselves fighting for it. So to be able to wrap the show early means that they didn't even use all of the potential time they had. So she's either got to be incredibly efficient with her rose ceremonies, or maybe comfortable sending people home, you know, in more informal moments. Do you think we're going to see this more than once, Zachary?
Well, I want to clarify, she only ended filming a week early. She's not Claire Crawley. She didn't leave after a few days and get engaged, so it's just a week.
God.
You know, I actually think she only ended it early because they were quarantined at a hotel in New Mexico, so they kind of had more time with each other. When you're traveling all around the world, like on a usual Bachelorette season, there's actually less time because then you're in all these different hotels and there's all this excitement around you exploring. So everyone's kind of like, let's extend the Bachelorette for another few weeks to a month so we can go to more countries. But in this situation, I completely understand why she would want to end it a week early, because they're not going anywhere. She's probably like, get me the hell out of New Mexico at this point. I know who I like and I know who I don't like. And I love when Bachelorette or Bachelors send people home on dates or like before when they're supposed to. It always makes for great TV.
It certainly does. I mean, Avery, would you enjoy seeing her kind of cut the cord a little faster, doing things at her own pace, kind of on her own schedule? What are your thoughts on Bachelorettes kind of calling the shots as they go like this?
Yeah, absolutely. I hate when they follow the rules, you know. This is all about an engagement, so you have to take this really seriously. And like you said, time is just everything. So she's not going to waste time. We already know she's going to kiss everyone, as you should, because there's an engagement at the end of this. And like you said, Zach, they're like quarantined in this one place in Mexico, so they also have more time with each other. So I also think that's going to like add to the narrative of her sending more people home quickly, just because, you know, they're spending more time than usual. And then maybe that plays into why they also wrapped early. But I definitely think we're going to see a lot of like informal, not rose ceremonies, eliminations, and then that too, you know. But I love when that happens, because let's just get rid of all the filler people as soon as we can, and then really get to know the people that matter, and then get to see the character development and, like, you know, get attached to those people. I didn't get to do that on Matt James's season. Usually I'm rooting for someone more or just way more invested. So I'm just hoping for a lot more of that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I love when they throw the rules out the window, and I also love when they get rid of people who we can tell from minute one, they can tell from minute one, it's just not going to be it. Because earlier on in the season, we can get to, okay, where is the drama going to be? Where are the real connections going to be? Who are the front runners so much faster? And that's really why we all watch, not that initial like get to know you phase. That's not when the fun really happens. So I'm very excited to see how she handles this. I think she's going to be an incredible Bachelorette. And you guys, like we said, it's finally almost here. I feel like we've been talking about this and talking about this and talking about this. So to have it be right around the corner is very exciting. Of course, we want to know from you in the chat how you are feeling about Katie's season. And with that being said, you guys, we are at the end of the show. So if you haven't sent in your questions, your comments yet, make sure you do, because we're going to dive in and try to get to as many of them as we can right now. Any question, any comment could be about anything we talked about in the live, can also just be about anything going on in Bachelor Nation. We know there is truly no shortage of subjects, no shortage of people to talk about, so anything goes. This is honestly, you guys, my favorite part, because I feel like sometimes you guys know things that we don't even know yet. So very excited to dive in. And again, of course, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. Hit the subscribe bell, hit the notification bell, because we go live all week long and we just want to keep you updated on Bachelor Nation as much as possible. All right, kicking things off here, we have Angela. She says, "Oh lordy, y'all make me cringe with your gushing. It is ridiculously dumb." Maybe she's talking about us. I'm not going to stop gushing about Bachelor Nation. I think she's talking about us. That is what we do here, Angela. I am so sorry if this is not your cup of tea, but we love Bachelor Nation. We're going to talk about it till the end of time. Aren't we, Avery?
Absolutely. Like, that's what we do. We're that excited about it. We have to gush over, like, you know, the things we like. It's a part of it.
Even if I think we take
really,
it too
Angela?
seriously.
Really, Angela? That is why we're here, to talk about Bachelor Nation. You should be gushing with us as well. So I don't really appreciate Angela. Sorry.
Oh man. Avery, I'm gonna let you grab Jessica here if you want.
All right. Jessica said, "I'm so happy for her. Josh could great impression." I think she means like he had a great impression, which I think we all agreed on. And maybe that means he'll get a first impression rose. But if not, I'm sure he'll go far. I really hope so, because I'm already a huge fan.
Yeah, I think Jessica meant John, obviously, who we were talking about earlier. But like, yeah, definitely
Yes.
Team John here. I think that's who she meant. Zachary, you coined the term Team John, did you not? I love it. We're going to be using it
I
all
did.
season.
Hashtag Team John. We'll be using it throughout the season until he does something that we don't appreciate or like. But right now, we are definitely hashtag Team John. And Ben has our back. He says, "Gush away, we're enthusiasts." Thank you, Ben. Hashtag Team Ben as well. Yes, we are all Bachelor enthusiasts. All of us here have been watching The Bachelor for many years, so it's so exciting that we get to be here, talk about The Bachelor, engage with other Bachelor fans. You know, I really enjoy talking about The Bachelor more than I actually do watching the show. I don't know if you guys are the same way, but whenever I'm watching the 2-hour documentary every single Monday, I'm just like, when are the memes coming? When can I go on these, lives and talk to my friends about the actual show? Like, it's almost more fun to engage with it and enter in the leagues than actually watch the 2 to 3 hour documentary every Monday.
I love that you're calling it a documentary. That is so funny. I'm definitely going to start doing that. But there is something to be said about, that's why Bachelor Nation is such a powerful fan base, right? I mean, people love to go on Twitter and refresh and communicate live as the show is playing out. We love to be detectives together. I feel like Bachelor Nation as a fan base can all get like certified as detectives. I mean, because really there's a community. People are in it for the tea. We keep up with so many people, if you guys think about it. We keep up with all of these spaces, and it's so much fun. Jeff says, "Yay, Fiona is back. Shared news is not the same without Fiona at the helm." Oh my God, stop, Jeff. You're going to make me blush.
True.
Yes, I was away for a week, you guys. I went to Cabo. It was amazing.
She went to Mexico.
Vaccinated. I went to Mexico. I'm joining Paradise.
Yeah, exactly. She
No.
had to get the tea and investigate what was going on in Paradise. So she went to Mexico. We were like, "Fiona, take one for the team. Take a trip to Mexico. We'll hold down the fort." And, Fiona's back and better than ever. And she does have a lot of tea. She's spilling it all today.
Yeah, I had my binoculars on the beach, you guys. I was in Cabo too, so this is all obviously not true.
Yes.
Although more than anything, I wish it was. All right, Natalie, is yours, Avery.
Natalie said, I'm so disappointed that Bayo's not going to be on this season. I think pretty much everyone is. Like, I've heard so much about him, and we didn't really get to see, if anything, of him, just like the little preview of that he might be on the show, and he was just a huge hit. So I'm just wondering if those guys who didn't make the cut are going to be on like Michelle's season, or they're just out of it for good. But hopefully they bring him back somewhere when the time is right into Bachelor Nation, because I know he has a lot of fans.
Paradise. Can he just skip and go right to Paradise? I mean, he's already a Bachelor Nation favorite, and he didn't even show up. It kind of reminds me of Grocery Store Joe, who got eliminated night one, and then all of a sudden became the most popular person in Bachelor Nation, and then he went to Paradise immediately. So this guy, Bayo, I think it is, he needs to go right to Paradise, and I'm sure that all the ladies will love him. Right, Fiona?
Oh my gosh, yeah, and you know what? You got me thinking, like, we had Matt James. He was our Bachelor. He was a Bachelor Nation favorite, but he had never been on a show. I mean, there are structures, there are ways that we do things, but there are also kind of no rules, you know? Lots to consider.
Yeah. Well, Jessica says, do you think Sarah Trott will be on Bachelor in Paradise? This is interesting because she left the show because, yes, she was being bullied by the girls in the house, but she also left the show because her dad was sick. So if she really wants to be home with her dad, it wouldn't make sense for her to go to Paradise, because then she would be leaving her dad again, which was kind of the reason why she left Matt James's season. So I personally don't think she should go to Paradise if her dad is sick. Otherwise, that would kind of make her eat her words, because that's the reason she left. And I don't even want to see her go to Paradise, honestly. I thought she was being so dramatic and attention-seeking on Matt James's season. I was not a big fan of her, and then she's all over Instagram trying to be the biggest influencer that there ever was after her 2-episode stunt on Matt James's season. So I do not want to see her go to Paradise. I think she was there for the wrong reasons, and I think she needs to take care of her dad.
Hot
Period.
take. I love it.
Period.
I haven't thought about her in a minute. Honestly, I don't remember feeling... Yeah, I don't remember feeling like that angry at her during the season. I think I was sympathetic, but that's typically me. So yeah, God, I don't think she should go for sure. Sheila says, stop saying let's dive right in, change your choice of presentation. People are salty today. There are things we need to dive into, Sheila. Or get into. I mean, come on.
Get into.
You know, there's a lot
Leave
of tea to get
suggestions
to.
below.
We gotta get there quickly. You can write us a script if you want, but we're not gonna use it because we really just want to get to the good stuff. We want to get to the tea.
Yeah. Sheila,
honestly,
give us your other suggestions below. And honestly, we're always down to change up our script. So feel free to give us more suggestions. But I like that you say dive in, because it just makes sense. We're diving right in. Paradise is involved with swimming. This is The Bachelor. There's a pool in Paradise. So dive right in always makes the most sense. But we're going to look up more vocabulary words. And for anyone else who is on the same page as Sheila, just feel free in the comment section. You know, we read these comments. We read, you know, what you guys say. So yeah, any suggestions help.
We honestly, I love that you guys are so actively engaged. That's why doing the lives are so fun, because you can say whatever you want in the chat. You know, I wish I knew Sheila's take on some of these Bachelor Nation topics, because you guys honestly have literally so many interesting viewpoints. That's what makes these lives so fun. Like, we could be the biggest diehard stan. Sometimes I feel like all of us are on the same page, and you guys don't agree with us. So that's what makes Bachelor Nation fun. That's what makes these lives fun. Avery and I don't necessarily love Peter. Sometimes you come in, you guys, and you guys are Peter warriors. That is what keeps
Someone has to be
interesting. Someone does, Zachary.
True.
Someone does. Daniel says Bachelor in Paradise is coming soon. It is coming soon. I mean, we have some time. It's not going to be till August. Give or take. Is it mid-August, you guys? I'm blanking on the actual date. I think it's like the 16th or something. We're going to blink, and it's going to be here. August will be here before you know it. But also, they're going to start filming next week is what word on the street is. So I think we're going to start to get, you know, those spoilers, those teasers. I do my best to try to avoid them, even for Paradise, because I love to be shocked. But I do think we're going to start to have a better idea very soon. What do you think, Avery?
I think so too. I also agree with you. For some reason, I like to be shocked more on Paradise than even like The Bachelor or Bachelorette. So I'm gonna try to stay away from the spoilers this time too. But super excited, and you know, by the time Katie's season's over, it's literally gonna be time for Paradise basically. So it's just gonna be boom, 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 how we like it. Barely any off season, so can't wait. It's been a long time coming for Paradise, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're gonna go right
Exactly.
into it.
We've been talking
Yeah.
about Paradise, I feel like, for what, a year now?
Literally, I missed it so much
literally almost a
last
year.
year. It's my
So
favorite
crazy.
Bachelor show. And usually the Bachelorette airs in May, like the past like however many years. So they're really, I guess that the quarantine and COVID schedules, they really push back Katie's season to the end of June or beginning of June. So we're going right into Paradise, and I want to see who's there. I don't want to know who falls in love, but I want to know who's there. Like, I don't need to
Yeah.
wait until August to find out who's there. I need to wait until next week to find out who's there.
Yeah, I am with you there. Hopefully we're going to get some more answers. We've got a lot of exciting content. We've got Paradise. We've got Michelle, who knows the future of The Bachelor. Of course, you guys, we're going to continue to keep you updated on these streams. Those are all of the questions and comments we have time for today, but have no fear. If we didn't get to yours, just go ahead and leave it down for us in the comments. Like Zachary mentioned, we keep our eyes on them, and we will be going live many, many more times in the future. Again, if you're not already subscribed, make sure you do so. Make sure you ring that bell so you can be notified when we're going live and you don't miss out on any Bachelor updates. As always, I am your host, Fiona Zaring, joined by the incredible Avery Grooms and Zachary Reality. If you want to come say hi, check out our socials. They're on the screen right now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.